What's going on, everyone? So JJ Redick is my guy, right? Like that's the guy that I wanted to be the Lakers head coach. I was campaigning and very adamant about JJ Redick from the opening get, right? Before he was even on the Lakers radar, right? I mean, the first time I mentioned JJ Redick as potentially being the Lakers head coach was when the Charlotte Hornets supposedly interviewed him at a left field, and everything was like, wait, what? Like, JJ Redick wants to be a coach? And I was like, if he wants to be a coach, you go get him immediately. And lo and behold, the Lakers ended up getting him. I kept pushing. I kept talking about how JJ is going to be that coach, right? Like, I was campaigning. I was supportive. And look, I have defended JJ Redick in every way possible. I also defended Darvin Ham last year a lot, like to my detriment at times, right? Because, look, I am a firm believer the players play the games. Right? And I'm not a firm believer of that because, it's just a belief. No, it's because it's an actual fact, right? The players play the games, right? Coaching can only get you so far. Right? I don't care how good of a coach you have. If guys don't show up and guys don't execute and guys don't play the way that they're supposed to play, then guess what? You're not winning any games, right? And I don't think, even Darvin Ham, I talked about the same stuff last season with Darvin Ham. And I talked about how, people would be like, oh, Darvin Ham's trash. And I'm like, he's not great. He's not a great coach, but they're not on this losing streak, or they're not on this because of, the coach. They're on it because of the players, right? And I still feel a lot of the same way about JJ. JJ has been better than Darvin Ham, without a doubt. He is already a better coach than Darvin Ham has been. But his recently, and maybe it's a form of just experimentation or whatever, but his rotation recently has not been great. On top of that, it is inexcusable, in my opinion, for Dorian Finney Smith at this point to, one, not be in the starting lineup over Rui, and two, to only play 15 minutes in a game that you badly needed him in his production. Now, I know he played 20 minutes total, but the 5 minutes that he played at the end was garbage time, right? Like, he only played 15 meaningful minutes. And then everything went south, and then he got to close the game. There is no reason why he wasn't out there. Rui Hachimura, in 30 minutes of action, gave you 9 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals, and was a minus 16. Dorian Finney Smith in 20 minutes, so 10 fewer minutes, gave you the same number of rebounds, gave you 5 fewer points, 4 points, right? 2 steals, so the same number of steals, and was a minus 13. Everybody was minus, so that's why. But literally, Dorian Finney Smith gave you the same production as Rui Hachimura in 10 fewer minutes, but also was far better defensively. I mean, all the Spurs did was just track down and hunt Austin Reeves and Rui Hachimura all game long. You know who they could have not done that to? Was Dorian Finney Smith. Right? Like, you throw Dorian Finney Smith out there, you let him play. The only way that this is even remotely excusable is if Rob Pelinka is working on a deal and he's basically told JJ, like, hey, you got to keep Rui in the starting unit, right? Like, you got to keep him out there because I'm working on some stuff, right? Because, you don't want to, and I know people look at it as it's not going to raise the value or anything. Yeah, but you don't want to lower his value or whatever little value he has, right? Like, you see a lot of times, guys, it's like, why is this guy still in the starting unit? And then you find out like a week later, oh, he was traded. That's why he was in the starting unit, right? Or that's why he was getting 30 minutes a game, right? So I could see something like that maybe. Obviously, they can't come out and be like, oh, we're starting Dorian or we're starting Rui because we're trying to trade him, right? They're not going to come out and say that. So we can only hope that that's the case. But again, you're on a 3-game losing streak. Things are a disaster. JJ has been very open to changing the starting units when they go on a little bit of a slump. Like, look at every time the Lakers have gone on, like, a 2-3 game losing streak. Usually there's a starting lineup change that kind of gets things in a gear, right? And lo and behold, that's what has happened. So I mean, you look at it, right? It was like, D'Lo going to the bench, and then it was like, don't connect, and then it was like Max Christie, and now you could go with Dorian Finney Smith. Dorian Finney Smith has to be a starter at this point. He has to. It's malpractice at this point, right? Like, this is criminal at this point. It's literally inexcusable. I like Rui. I keep talking about how I like Rui, but he's a redundancy. He doesn't make any sense right now. Can't defend out on the perimeter, and he's just not going to get the minutes at the 4 that you need to justify it, right? And he's too inconsistent. He doesn't rebound well for a guy that's 6'8". Right? Like I said, Dorian Finney Smith was in literally 10 fewer minutes and got the same number of rebounds. And he's the guy that's actually out there defending the perimeter and working hard and getting all the loose balls and doing all that stuff. It's just Rui, when he's not shooting the lights out, just doesn't give you anything else. Right? When he's not cooking offensively, he gives you nothing. Dorian Finney-Smith, when he's not cooking offensively, is still giving you the hustle and the energy and the effort and the rebounding and the defense as a whole. Right? Like, it's just there's an added luxury there with Dorian Finney-Smith that you just don't get with Rui Hachimura. Right? If we really needed a 4, or if like LeBron was 32, and it was like slide him to the 3 and put Rui at the 4, then fine, but we can't do that. And Rui's not so good that it justifies LeBron playing the 3. Right? So to me, it's just it's such an obvious answer here. And that's why I kind of mentioned maybe it's Rob Pelinka telling him, like, hey, you got to hold your horses on swapping that. Because, again, why else? Like, if it's this obvious to myself and many others, it has to be obvious to the coaching staff. It has to. So, figure it out, right? Like, what is the deal here? It's again, I like JJ. I think he is a good coach. I think he's going to continue to be a good coach. I think and can absolutely see him being a championship level coach at some point. Has he been perfect this year? Absolutely not. Has he had hiccups and made mistakes? Absolutely. All coaches do regardless, but especially a coach that's in his first year. I think overall JJ Redick has shown he's just a better schemer. He's better at just getting guys to buy in. Right? He's shown the tools of being a very good and very comfortable head coach. However, right, we need JJ to be better. The obvious answer sometimes is the correct answer. Right? And the simple answer is usually the correct answer. And it's just, we've seen JJ it's almost like he does. I don't think it's not that he doesn't see, because he's very analytical. He's very like anal about the numbers and stuff like that. So I don't think it's something where he's just like completely blind and oblivious to it. I think it's either something's going on behind the scenes and JJ's got to kind of play ball, or it's just him being stubborn right now. Right? It's him wanting to maybe make sure. Right? Maybe he doesn't want to upset the guy, but like, we need to win basketball games. Lakers went from being a top 6 seed to, they're still the 7 seed, but they're tied with the Timberwolves. They're right in the thick of it to be out of the play-in entirely. They're a game and a half ahead of the Spurs. 2 games ahead of the Warriors from being out of the play-in entirely. That's terrible, right? We need JJ Redick to be better. We need the players to be better. Again, this isn't JJ Redick. This isn't like a scapegoat for JJ Redick and that. But his rotation and him playing Dorian Finney-Smith needs to change. All right, like seriously, it's we've had enough of the sample size, and the right decision is right there. It's very clear what the right decision is. Make the right decision. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass question you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel with your thoughts? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Kind of mixed in the middle. However you feel, whatever your thoughts are. I love to hear it either way, so let me know down in the comments below. That being said, If you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.